You mentioned rockets. Is this basically the moon landing?
You're throwing me analogies like this, which drives me crazy. People tend to do this. They tend to create some new stuff, think it great because it gives them more abilities. Like you can turn faster, you can go faster. And they tend to do like, this is it. Of course, because they did it, right? So like they need to mobilize a lot of people around it. Like take like Solana, I don't know. Is it fast? Yes, and I mean much faster than before, than what we had before. Is it like the most efficient? By far, no. Like by far, no. The consensus protocol Solana is like finality in 13 seconds or something like that. And yeah, the blocks are fast, like the 400 milliseconds or something like that. And so people say, oh, this car can go really fast, okay? It's like really fast. But if you compare it with Formula One, it's like 69. But there are a lot of people who've been mobilized because of that. And because there are some things that you can do in Solana that you cannot do in anything else. So for example, you win the championship of Formula One is 69. Does that car design like we use today? No.
Andrew. So, do you have a family?
I do, of course. Everyone has family. They pretty much like don't know what I'm doing. They know that I'm a developer, kind of, but they're not like very deep into the technologies or anything. So they're very kind of in the dark ages.
It's hard, right? Building a super fast blockchain.
Of course, it is.
Okay, how hard? Like, can you tell us a bit about that?
Oh my God. I think it should be visible on my face, like. But it is hard.
Yes.
We have a lot of work. We have a lot of struggles. We've been struggling a lot on the things that had to be done. And a lot of thoughts had been put into this work. A lot of like math and minor mistakes can make a difference.
Yes.
So yeah, it's definitely lots of work. We design for the real world applications. It's not like for the lab. It's definitely for the real world. And we mainly focus on the servers that replicate real world, and they're just in different data centers. We're trying different setups. Of course, it is for the kind of general use. It's not for the research or anything like that.
Explain how Acki Nacki is leveraged. No,
Should I introduce myself?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's okay.
Okay. Who are you and how do I?
Okay. So my name's Frank Sykes, and I'm from Integrity Certificates, and I've been working with Acki Nacki blockchain for over a year now, and I work on nature-based assets and such as biodiversity credits and the value chain and biodiversity credits. I met with Mitya at the right time. I do believe in synchronicity. There's a bit of synchronicity in that, but obviously as we got to learn to know each other and understand what each other were doing on our end, there was some obvious complementarities.
When running mainnet, blockchain mainnet is actually like, think of endurance race, which never ends. So it's extreme, but in a completely different way. We actually may not need 1 million transactions from day one, like maybe 50,000 or 100,000 is enough, but that need to run forever.
Who is your favorite F1 car designer?
Well, that's Andrew Newey, of course. Like, why?
Adrian, yeah.
There is no question about that. There's no question about this. The reason is not because just he won everything and more than anyone else, but because of the consistency of the sticking to the design optimizations that the envision that he had all the time. No compromises. Like no compromises.
Everything, it's like compromises. We have to do compromises. This is on one side, and on the other side is we have to understand what we are compromising. What can we do without compromises? For example, what was the waste work? What can we reduce as a waste work? It's just a lot of small, tiny things that end up
Affecting everything.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
If you, for example, improve something by 1% multiple times, like 100 times, it will be improved by like a lot. It's not like 100% improvement, but it's just like it adds up.
Like as a protocol, we measure the efficiency in the message complexity. So when we can measure that, like we can measure all the messages that need to pass between different parties in the decentralized network to reach the consensus of a common state, right? And because we're talking about interactive protocol, okay, maybe I need to talk about what is interactive protocol, but in interactive protocols, like you have two parties or more, and in order to agree on a state, they need to communicate with each other, they need to talk to each other, right? So that's messages that they pass. And message complexity is basically how many messages they need to pass to arrive to the same conclusion and kind of to agree on the same state. And of course, we measure that in time. So for example, if I need to send 10 messages, but all of them are sent in parallel, right? That's one communication step in the protocol. And so Acki Nacki reaches consensus basically in two communication steps. And because it's interactive, so like 1, 2, that's the fastest. So you cannot go most efficient because you cannot go less than 2 in interactive protocol.
Do you have to program very fast to make the network very fast?
No, sometimes, but mostly we have to
do it correctly.
Yes, and think of what are we doing, or not to make mistakes and make it fast and smooth and to make it right.
But there wasn't a lot of time. I mean, things change on the fly all the time, no?
We spent a lot of time to find mistakes.
Usually run tests, I think, parse logs, just usually. Sergey is calling like, Sasha, I've got a bug.
Yeah. Not only Sergey. A lot of people come to us and say that we have a problem.
A blockchain, in my view, is not some strange creature. It's a global supercomputer which needs to serve people. Not like people serve blockchain as they used to, spraying on these bullets.
Yes.
No, it should be the other way around.
This kind of design, I'm not saying Acki Nacki is the only design. Like probably there will be other manufacturers who will do like other designs, like they did with Lotus, as they are not the dominant force in Formula 1 today. But that's up to Lotus and what they did with the company, and we don't want to go there probably today. But yeah, we want to arrive to a state where the difference between these designs will be minuscule. But we are there. Like we can do what we wanted to do. We can go as fast as we want to go, and then okay, we compete, but it's a different level of competition, like a different level of things. So yes, in that respect, like Acki Nacki can be compared to Lotus 72 because it's a kind of a shift in design philosophy. It is a completely new consensus algorithm, which is actually happening very rarely. But even to realize what we want took time. Because like if you asked people around, I don't know, 2014 what they want, basically what they wanted was faster Bitcoin maybe. Maybe they wanted ability to smart contracts, that's what Ethereum did, right? And yes, I mean, this was a revolution because you could program money suddenly. It's a huge revolution. But does it mean that we need to use like Ethereum programmatic money today? Because it's painfully slow, not scalable, is a child design today. Mm-hmm. Should we go with these cars? Well, you know, they do that in America, mm-hmm. right? They go racing with these old cars, but that is just for the entertaining purposes to kind of level the fields, and it's fun to watch. Yeah, but do we want fun to watch, or we want a real system where we kind of move the whole world economy?
Looking how all these teams working currently in one physical place, I found that actually it's like building a car, right? And why? So to build a modern car, you need to actually identify the most important parts of this car firstly, and then you need to assemble it in a very complicated way. And the assembling the car is, I suggest from my perspective, is most important part of building the car. You not only need to choose the parts, you need to combine them. And here I found absolutely extremely the same situation. You can choose different parts from different technical solutions, and you need to combine in one working perfectly. I suggest it can be called like engineering masterpiece.
I'm an engineering manager and technical product manager.
So you work intimately with the development team?
We know each other for a very long time. Some people I know for like 6 years, some people for 5 years. So we are like a mature built team. It's not easy to build a distributed team. It takes like a lot of effort and time. And this team is like very, I don't know, good developed, and we have a long history. Challenges in building a team is when new people appear in a team. Every time we have a new person, the process of building a team like starts all over again.
Several problems a day, usually, while these development process is so fast, and sometimes there is not so much time to make the whole global tests, and some new features, they can a little damage something old.
Yes.
But we usually try to fix it very quick.
Okay, I see. So the sheer amount of code, from what I know, that you wrote is impressive. Does the pace of production and the amount of decisions you need to make on a daily basis mean that you neglected things in everyday life? Like you used to eat, shower?
I think you can feel that we
are clean.
Yeah.
I hope for it.
Do not stink.
We have some time at the morning to have shower, and that's all. Mostly I know about my problems.
Talk to me about them.
My problems is election systems, my problems is zero state, with a lot of nodes that we solved with proxies and so on. Of course, it's wallets, it's tokenomics, rewards, it's all based on contracts on this blockchain, and I try to solve all problems, but not finish yet.
You do a lot of calculation of rewards for each actor in the Acki Nacki network, for block keepers and block producers and block managers. What are some of the ways in which rewards are calculated in Acki Nacki?
We just use some complex functions, exponential saturation function, just for determine what rewards some participants is received at a specific time. Complex functions from different parts of math theory. You need to think about the theorems, about the problem. You don't need to think about calculations.
I am not interested in writing yet another set of smart contracts for wallet or so they call it NFT, which is yet another manifestation of Unix directory and file system structure, right?
Yes.
And I'm interested to bring value into people's lives. What drives me, it has never been done before. GUI toolkits, yes. Smart contracts, yes, but together they haven't been adopted, and people just think it's impossible, but it should be done.
So I started to work with Acki Nacki 3 years ago, and my main role is to guarantee security properties of smart contracts and to do formal verification, to do all the stuff connected with security. So that is my main role. Formal verification is the technology which can guarantee the absence of any bug against the given specification. And having that, we can guarantee 100% that there is no any misbehavior and no any technical issues there if we have the proof of correctness.
Created a completely new tokenomics system. We created a completely new consensus protocol. And you can ask, like, what, are you fucking crazy? Like, why did you do that? And the answer to that was not the goal. The goal was not create everything new. The goal was to create like the most efficient protocol, which ruled in a most kind of decentralized protocol as a law style. But then you realize, all right, should this protocol be proof of work? No, it's never work. So it will be proof of stake. But once you go proof of stake, then how do you create a protocol as a law system in proof of stake? and then here you go.
The Acki Nacki Tokenomics is designed as a Bitcoin for proof-of-stake model. How many Bitcoin does a certified Wagyu beef cost?
Can you repeat? How many?
How many Bitcoin does certified Wagyu beef cost? You know the famous beef from Japan?
Oh, I will pay a lot of Bitcoins for this meat because I very, very like it.
I think the effort of your life is to try to change the world and or, as Steve Jobs says, dent in the universe, right? And to do that, you don't design socks. You aim for something big. You aim for something really, really important that can have a massive shift. Like when Steve Jobs put a computer inside everyone's hand, he made a life better, but for everyone in a huge shift, like a revolution. This is the impact philosophy. The impact philosophy is that you need to make an impact, like in your life, basically. Try to make an impact. Don't try to make better socks.
You know, the story is that we've messed up 50% or more of the biodiversity in the last 50 years through mainly our economic activity. And what's required is over $800 billion per year for the next 10 years to be able to reverse that. So what needs to happen is something really at massive scale with many different parties involved. And the existing models that we have, which is very much centralized, is really difficult to be able to cater for something of that scale.
I think a Bitcoin is a meme coin, and there's nothing wrong with that. So having, even if Acki Nacki is a meme coin, is great. Does that prevent, like if it's a meme coin, it prevents it to have a great technology like behind it, underneath it, whatever? No, and I think that like Acki Nacki as a meme, okay, it's not a meme because meme is just too small of a descriptive word for Acki Nacki, because Acki Nacki has a whole world, it's a lore, it's like many characters, it's a whole universe, right, of things. But yeah, they're imaginary characters. But I believe that these imaginary characters actually transmit the values in the best way, like bitch that keeps you honest. Isn't that blockchain? Like blockchain is a bitch that keeps you honest, right? How you can describe a blockchain in a better terms? I don't think so. I couldn't come with any better explanation what blockchain is. Like, because blockchain is about honesty, because everything blockchain does is like you cannot manipulate it, it's transparent, everyone can see it. Like all of these features, which we call blockchain, they're all kind of supporting that as like bitch that keeps you honest, basically.
Is it meeting? No. Acki Nacki. Well, drink about Acki Nacki. Every night.
Honey, I'm as much the bitch that keeps you honest as I am the cunt that keeps you alive. At first it bothered me. I was like, oh, so I didn't like liars, and so they call me a bitch. Right, sure, whatever. But with time, yeah, it grew on me. I started owning it. I never ask you for money. I never ask you for anything, except honesty. If that makes me the bitch that keeps you honest, then I guess that's what I am.
I don't believe in systems where someone can represent someone else, and particularly the group. That's absurd if you think about that. Like why someone need to kind of make decisions on someone's behalf just because they say kind of this individual cannot express their preferences. So I believe in protocol as a law, which means that the only democratic process we have is when we start the protocol. We agree on the rules of the protocol. But once we agree on the rules of the protocol, we never change them. Like the protocol is the rule, and we not change it. And I think this is the only way for humans to organize themselves and not be subject to Arrow's impossibility theorem, which is basically leads to just two outcomes. Either it's completely inefficient, like we basically arrived at a completely random conclusion, or we have a dictatorship.
So I'm in charge of cool stuff like games, shows, people pleasing. Though it sure is true that the journey of life has brought me to some of the more extravagant vistas in this here realm, I still believe myself quite down to earth. Earth. Humans. Aren't they curious? They have all these hopes and dreams. And they all want essentially the same thing, ultimately. Why is it then that they go on such long, arduous, complicated journeys just to keep their lives organized? I'm sure there's a reason, but don't think the reason is always inevitable. Acki Nacki is my best friend, yep. Do you know what that means? That means I have come into possession of my truth. And I often notice as I gaze upon my human confreres, they are honest and subscribe to an unyielding standard, principles, protocols, whatever. They actually... Damn it, lost my train of thought.
Then your question is what protocol you want to be as a law. Like, do you want, you can have a law, like a constitution, things of the constitution, but the technically this constitution is very hard to enact. Like, for example, your constitutional court reach decisions in every 10 years. Like, this will be very dysfunctional constitutional law, right? So you want this process to be efficient. Because it doesn't matter, like, what protocol, the difference between one protocol and another is, first, they can be a protocol as a law or not, and second, is it actually efficient protocol?
How and why, mathematically, is Acki Nacki unique?
I would say is that we try to prove every math statement that we use in a protocol in different parts, in tokenomics, in the protocol, in a lot of algorithms that we used. In formal verification is too, mathematics, yep. I would say that we use, that we prove all statements that we use. I would say that.
My job is to make sure everything runs efficiently in the protocol and that there's no funny business. I'm kind of like, I don't know, a mechanic, I guess. It's honest work. It is meaningful. I know I am doing something important, and besides that, I'm free to exist as I please as long as I fulfill my duties, and most importantly, as long as I'm honest. All in all, I'm golden.
And what happens if you're not honest?
We up ahead, down. We left to right and right to left, down.
You don't want to know. Dishonesty leads those like me down a dark, gloomy way.
The only problem I have with all this, everyone keeps contradicting each other. One person says one thing, another says something else. What is a silliness?
If we want to change the world, we need to embrace disagreement. This isn't about harmony or comfort, it's about disruption. Progress demands it. Anarchy, where every man speaks for himself, is not a flaw. It's the purest form of democracy. It's messy, it's chaotic, and it's exactly what we need. Because out of that chaos comes the only thing that matters, impact. The world we need is one where disagreement is celebrated, individuality is empowered, and progress reigns supreme. And when people disagree, it's the blockchain that keeps them honest. Because if no one keeps them honest, it ends in war. And I guess that's why blockchain matters.
I don't have a final vision for Acki Nacki because I shouldn't. The final vision for me is like we start the protocol, we say we put certain rules, and we tried really hard. We created a lot of stuff, which is new stuff to accommodate for this. There is no final vision for that, meaning like we tried as much as possible to do this system in this, like with this vector of development. So it should go very fast. It should be very high throughput, should have very high throughput, and it should be a protocol as a law, and it should perform like a protocol as a law, really like in Bitcoin style. Like we take Bitcoin and we try to apply to proof of stake systems, which also bring finality very fast, which is hard to do. So yeah, so you do all that, and then you say, and we start decentralized network, and we try to start the network as decentralized as possible, and that is the final vision. Meaning from that point, right, that should live on.